Following ProPublica's bombshell report that Justice Clarence Thomas had been the recipient for many decades of lavish gifts, trips paid for by a billionaire megadonor. Now, we find out that the same megadonor also apparently has an affinity for Nazi and communist memorabilia. Now, do I think that's weird? Yes. Yes. In fact, one of the reasons stated that this billionaire, Harlan Crow, has this memorabilia is that, well, you know, I keep it around as an example of the things that I don't like. Oh, well, okay. Well, normal people don't really do that. Don't really keep that kind of stuff in our house as a reminder that we hate it. That said, Ben Shapiro, however, thinks, no, that's totally fine, totally normal. And if you're criticizing them, maybe you're the Nazi.
Harlan Crow collects basically memorabilia from defunct communist and Nazi states, and he has a garden in which he displays these things to show what the capitalistic free market and Judeo-Christian ethic has overcome. Apparently, this now means you're a fan of these things. So, if you own a piece of memorabilia from an evil regime, in order to demonstrate to your children, so that people remember for the future what that evil regime was, this means you're now a fan of that thing. Well, I mean, that seems like a reason why you might own this stuff is to remember the things that you hate. That's it. But apparently this makes him a Nazi and a communist.
What? Okay. Ben, I'm okay. So maybe this is futile. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to Bensplain, right? So explain to someone who constantly, bends over for billionaires and shops at Home Depot to get one slice of wood. Okay. Trying to explain how normal people think and how normal people would not dedicate entire sections of their home to things that they don't like, to things that they hate, that they despise. How do I do that? Well, look, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a futile endeavor to try to explain Ben normal people, because he clearly is not. But I'll try anyway. Why not? I'll figure it out. So before I do that, let's get to the details, okay? And let's get into the fact that this collection, this is not something that we just found out about. It's been reported on before. In fact, this collection was actually had received a lot of backlash back in 2015. So there was a fundraiser hosted at his estate on the eve of Yom Kippur. Now, again, it's a Jewish holiday. And an anonymous source who attended told the Washingtonian that the house felt like a museum. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I mean, other than it's weird. But they described it as strange, given the assortment of family photos in one room, World War II artifacts in another, and a backyard full of, I kid you not, dictators. Researcher Dana Boyd tweeted on Saturday that she was deeply shaken by the displayed Nazi memorabilia when she attended a meeting at Crow's house a few years ago. Quote, years later, I still shudder thinking about the Nazi uniform decorations in Harlan Crow's house, and the painting, and the book, and the statues, and the antebellum pro-slavery artifacts. I'm glad others are questioning the acceptability of those materials. So here's my take. Billionaires are weird. I mean, they have more money than they know what to do with. And, no one becomes a billionaire without stepping on some people along the way. Sorry, that's just the way that it is. Do I believe that this guy's a Nazi? Harlan Crow? Not necessarily. I'm leaning towards no. And I'm quite certain that he is not a communist either. But does he fuel corruption? I think that's pretty obvious. All the lavish gifts that he gave to, Justice Clarence Thomas. But not only that, giving money to Republicans and also giving money to conservative Democrats like Henry Cuellar, Joe Manchin, and of course, independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema, and also to Representative Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey. In fact, according to FEC data on that, the Texas billionaire gave $16,800 to Gottheimer since 2018, and contributed thousands as recently as October of 2022. I think those are enough reasons to not be a fan of this dude, who again engages in corruption of our political system. There's plenty of non-Nazis that do that. And of course, the purpose of those donations is obviously to reward the politicians who continue to vote for things like tax cuts for the rich. Not only that, but specifically to these Democrats, I mean, Henry Cuellar, Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, Gottheimer. What were they most recently doing? Oh, right, blocking every good part of the Biden agenda. Look, blocking Build Back Better, for example. Some of the stuff, for example, on universal pre-K childcare. You know, good stuff. Good stuff. So I think that was a reward because these guys, rich people, do not want to pay more taxes if it goes to poor people, if it goes to actually helping average working class people improve their material conditions. Well, I don't want to pay for that, says Harlan Crow. There's all these people. Now, on the collection itself, though, in a 2014 home walkthrough and interview with the Dallas Morning News, Crow described this display as, quote, not an art collection, but a historical nod to the facts of man's inhumanity to man. Well, you would probably know. Again, billionaires stepping over people to become billionaires, right? But he also said that his display is based on the patriotism and living generation's debt to the past. We all collectively, whether we're a little bit blue or a little bit red, or a lot, owe a huge debt. We need to understand how we all got here and to try to do in our own home, our own time, what we can do for our future. Okay, but why is it in your house, though? Like, I don't get it. This collection, if you really want to use it for that purpose, which sounds noble, then why the hell is it in your house? Put it in a museum. You could build a museum. Why not? You could imagine the tax breaks you can get from building a freaking museum. Why not? Why not? I mean, if you really want to show everyone that, hey, there's this huge debt that we as a society owe, to the people that fought against these terrible regimes and overcame them. Okay, well, if you want to show that, then put it in a place where people can access it. I think private historical collections like this are a waste. We should all have access to our collective histories instead of it being locked up in some rich guy's house that, for the sole purpose, by the way, of just showing it off to his friends, of just owning it. And that's the real reason people like this have this stuff. This is not entirely ideological. No, this is about bragging rights. This is about, I have this stuff. Come see it. Come see the awesome stuff I bought. That's all it is. This isn't accessible to the public. An average person can't walk up and say, hey, can I see this the dictator's garden that you have in the back? No, you're gonna get the guard dogs called on you or something. The guard dogs or the bees, or the dogs with the bees in their mouths. When they bark, they shoot bees at you. I don't know. Rich people. No, it's all about trying to show off. That's it. It's selfish motivation. And getting back to the point about the donations, that's exactly what that is too. Selfish motivation, return on investment. Again, when you're that rich, your main driver is not to survive, okay? It is trying to outdo members of your social circle by buying stuff, by showing them how much you can buy, how much money you have, how much bling you can get, how much art and historical stuff that you can display at your house. It's funny, you know, conservatives like to shit on the arts, right? But yet, the wealthy billionaires, they're the ones that are paying millions and millions of dollars for pieces of art to stick in their house. Weird how that works. Now, apparently art is not for us. History stuff, memorabilia, it's not for average people to learn from or enjoy in the case of art. It's just for rich people. Ben Shapiro, understand that he knows this, of course. And what Ben is doing is, look, he is obviously simping for the super rich, doing their propaganda, aiding and abetting them of their robbery of the middle class and the government. And it's because he looks up to them. He wants to be one of them. And so that's why no matter what they do, as long as you're not George Soros, as long as you're not a rich person on the left, Ben Shapiro will always come and defend you.